today is my Nars All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. I love this, it photographs really well, lasts all day and just looks great on my skin. I love the Illamasqua skin base as well. I use that one in my kit and I love it. Just make sure you're investing in a foundation. I would say if your skin looks good, then everything else will eventually fall into place. So you can kind of cheat on eyeshadows and lipsticks and stuff, but your base is so important. I've done a full review of this as well and show a picture in that video of a flash photograph that I took. So I'll link that in a card if you want to go and watch that. Once I've applied the foundation all over, I'm just going to dab a little bit extra on the areas that I have redness and little marks. I'm also going to go under my eyes with my Nars Creamy Concealer. This is one of my favourite concealers for dark circles and brightening, and I like to go right in the corner. I'm just going to use my finger to blend that in. That's my preferred way of doing it on myself. You can use a brush as well if you like. This is also multitasking as an eye primer. If you have really oily eyelids, then you might want to use a separate eye primer. I really like the Urban Decay one. So the palette I'm going to use today is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. So I'm going to use white chocolate with a big fluffy brush and just pop this all over my lid up to my brow. Any matte that's lighter than your natural skin tone will work really well. And then I'm going to take the shade Marzipan and pop that all over my lid. Any kind of beige, champagne sort of shimmery colour will work. Again, go a little bit darker if your skin is darker than mine. And I'm using a flat shader brush to press this on. Then I'm going to start working in the outer corner. I'm going to use this Real Techniques base shadow brush, and I don't want to lose the bright shimmery colour I've used all over the lid, especially on the inner corner, so I'm really going to concentrate it on the outer corner. And I'm using Milk Chocolate. It's a matte light brown shade, so I'm just starting off with hardly any on my brush until I like where I'm going with the shape. Make sure your eyes are open, because if you're doing this then you don't have a clue what it's going to look like when your eyes are open. And don't worry too much about blending at the moment, you just want to get the shape right. Just zoomed in because I realised that you probably couldn't even see what I was doing. Sorry about that. So I really like how that's going. Now I'm going to grab a blending brush. So I'm going to tilt my head back and just go along the edge really gently because I don't want to lose the shape that I've created. I'm also going to smudge a tiny bit of that milk chocolate underneath, trying to get it as close to the lashes as possible. So at this point, once you've kind of mapped out what shape you want to do with a neutral colour, you can go in with a little bit of a fun colour. You might want to do a colour that kind of makes your eye colour pop and is a contrast, or you might want to put a little bit of colour that kind of ties in with your dress or your bridesmaids dresses or any kind of colour scheme that you have going on. But I'm going to keep it neutral, like I've said, just so anyone can do this. It will suit anyone, and whatever colour dress and theme you have, it will look good. So I'm going to go in with a dark brown. This shade is called Semi Sweet. I'm just keeping it on the outer corner, so I'm not going into the crease this time because I don't want it to look too much like a smoky eye. Making sure my eyes are open and pushing that colour into the outer corner. And this is really going to define the eyes and make them look really beautiful. When you're pushing it into the socket as well, you can kind of pull it down onto the eyelid at the outer corner. I'm going to grab my clean brush again and just go over the edge. Again, I'm going to take a tiny bit of that dark brown underneath, mainly on the outer corner again. So kind of like a third of the way in. I'm also going to run a tiny bit of the marzipan shade that I used first in the inner corner, just to keep everything really bright. Now I'm going to use Triple Fudge, which is a really dark kind of espresso type colour. I'm using this as liner, and I'm just going to do a really thin line, and I'm going to wing it out following the shape that I've created here. So it should be really simple to do, and because it's shadow it's really easy to control. It has like a softer look to it. It's not as harsh a line as a liquid. And then when you get to the outer corner, you were holding it like this before, but you just flip it around and look straight ahead into a mirror. Look kind of where you want the wing to go. I like mine, as most people do, to kind of follow the natural shape of my eye along my lower lash line. So you can kind of draw one line, and then I'm going to go in, do the other side, draw the other line. And once you're happy with them, you can go in and make your wing shape. So you can do it as big or as little as you like. I'm just making like a small triangle. Then once I'm happy with the shape, I'm going to go underneath a tiny bit using the angled brush. I'm just going to put that on the outer corner. I'm just going to curl my lashes. Make sure you use a long lasting, smudge proof, preferably waterproof mascara. I know this one isn't waterproof, but this is just the one I have on hand today. Little individual lashes might be a really good thing to do at this point as well. I've not got any today, I need to go to Sally's and get some, but I would just pop a few individuals on the outer corner. I just completely zoned out and ended up filling in my brows like I usually do. I've done an in-depth brow video if you want to go and watch that, but just fill in your brows like you usually do. I'm going to use some blot powder. I wouldn't usually use this, it's from my kit, but I would recommend this powder for your wedding day because it layers really nicely, so you can pop it in your clutch and touch up throughout the day if you get a little shiny. Even if you don't usually wear powder, I would recommend you do on your wedding day, or at least keep one in your bag for later in the day when you get shiny. I also think bronzer is something, even if you don't usually wear it, a great thing to do. Even just really light-handed, just sweep this on kind of the outer 3 shape of your face. This is the Nars Laguna one, I really like it. Looks really natural. You don't have to do it so that you look tanned if you like fair skin, I do as well, but it just adds a little warmth. It's not adding a sunny bronze look, it's just a tiny bit more colour. The blusher I'm going to be using is this one here. It's kind of like a pretty soft pinky beige colour, perfect for this kind of look as it's not too much, but it adds a pretty flush to your cheeks. Now for the lips, I think MAC Patisserie is a winner for bridal makeup. It just looks good on everyone, and I completely forgot to film an outro for this clip, so I'm just applying that with a lip brush, and make sure you pop it in your clutch bag as well so you can reapply it throughout the day. So that's the look finished. Please let me know in the comments if you have any more questions, and if you are getting married soon, congratulations. I hope you have an amazing day. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.